with Years of Years, and it's This Week in Disney for October 31st to November 6th.
Wow.
Yes.
It has finally arrived. Halloween.
Yeah,
Happy Halloween.
Hopefully you have some great plans today. Tell us in the comments what you guys are up to. We'd love to hear about it, whether you're going out and about and doing something fun, or maybe having fun in.
Yeah.
Always, anywhere you can have spooky fun. Actually, inside can be even more spooky.
But we saw all of the costumes Friday night in MK. Wow.
Yeah.
So many Jack Skellingtons about. Like, it was just like, it was Halloween town. It was crazy.
Everybody was dressed up.
It was awesome.
I have seen it really intense though. Like, not intense, but like people with very, very expensive costumes.
I saw quite a bit of that too.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm talking the big gowns that,
right.
you've got like velvet, not like the plastically stuff.
It was pretty exceptional.
But definitely fun. Loving seeing all that.
We had
it's the only time of year really you can experience it.
We had popped in just to do Haunted Mansion and to do Pirates of the Caribbean.
For Halloween.
Yeah. And then popped over to Hollywood. Did Tower of Terror?
Yeah, I didn't pop.
You didn't pop?
No.
I did. I popped over.
You did.
Yeah, popped
no,
over.
Of course we had to ride Tower of Terror, and it was great. And then not spooky.
Yeah,
but,
it's just super fun.
Yeah, I still think Halloween related. Lots of people.
Toy Story Land. I mean, come on. Plenty of costumes inspired from there. We saw plenty of buzzes about, but we went for a Slinky Dog dive.
Right.
It was
the
awesome.
wait time was not too bad at the end of the night, and we weren't even thinking about it, but as soon as we got off, I saw the cast members still standing there, and I looked up.
10 seconds.
Yeah, we had time to like get back on the ride, so we're like, let's do it again.
We closed out Slinky Dog. We were the last riders of the night on Friday.
So that's cool.
Yep. October 28th.
It was a perfect little Halloween treat.
It was. It was an event for us. It's the little things.
Yeah.
But the park was full of social interactions and great people like visiting and just meeting for the first time, but just hitting it off. So wonderful.
And the new candy corn sipper.
Oh my gosh, the Donald one.
I mean,
it's been out for like a month and a half, but we saw it in person. It was beautiful. We thought we might get one and bring it home for candy corn ourselves, but it is a sipper. So it has that flip top. It wasn't going to quite work out, but very nice sculpt.
Candy corn drink.
Yeah. No, we met some people that had their 11th year friendiversary.
Yeah.
Like, they have been traveling as Disney friends for 11 years. Like, they don't even live in the same state or anything. They live in different parts of the country.
Far apart.
But they come to Disney together.
And they became friends at Disney.
11 years they've been doing it now.
I think it was Food and Wine. It was definitely a festival at Epcot. So really neat. So awesome to meet everyone.
Yeah. So events about personal events, and tell us about the events.
Well, we're looking forward to this week too.
Oh, we are. Oh, yeah. Fantasmic. We almost didn't talk about it. Thursday, the return of the great Fantasmic.
Can't wait.
We have our passes. We will be there.
Yep.
And
do our best.
We'll do our best to share.
But we're gonna get into this week of Disney Past, starting off with October 31st. Back in 1942, David Ogden Stiers is born in Peoria, Illinois. And you would know him well as the voice of Cogsworth. That's just one example.
Yes.
But yes, he was born...
But Cogsworth. Cogsworth.
Yes, he was born in Peoria. He went to Juilliard, and so he was highly, highly talented. So you wouldn't be surprised. I mean, obviously he's good as Cogsworth, but he's also in many other films like Governor Ratcliffe and Pocahontas. He's the Archdeacon in The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which I think is a
one of the darkest villains.
Well, very emotional. There's a lot of singing in that as well. As long he did not like, train vocally, with music necessarily, but he's highly talented as a vocal artist as well. And then he was also in Atlantis as Fenton Q. Harcourt.
Okay.
And then Lilo and Stitch, he was Jumba, the doctor. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Lots of...
How many roles? There's so many.
Yeah, so with the music talent, he was in the symphony orchestra, and the Ernest Bloch Music Festival. So
okay.
highly involved there.
Man.
So just for visual context, like this character, you would know him super well if you're a MASH fan. So in MASH, he was Major Charles Emerson Winston III. I remember him saying his full name too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you remember MASH, he played that character.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, it was cool.
Passionate. Yeah.
Yeah. So he did so much for Disney though. Really, really impressive.
Very impressive. 90s, early 2000s, like so strong.
Yeah, all those characters are just so... Oh, and he had also been in Spirited Away.
Okay.
As Kamaji.
Which, is...
I thought that was interesting
in the Disney family.
Yeah.
By connection. Strong connection.
Oh, and then narrating that M. Night Shyamalan film, The Lady in the Water. He did the narrating. Yeah, I think
it's a
he
great
did some
film.
Other narrations as well. He's done a lot, so you know his voice. Obviously, you know Cogsworth, and but you probably heard him in lots of other things too.
Love it.
Incredible career.
Thank you.
Really cool guy. So next up, and he was born on Halloween, right?
There you go.
But moving on to November 1st, 1940, the short Mr. Mouse Takes a Trip. So this cartoon, I think you got to check it out, but you'll have to go watch it. It's basically Mickey Mouse and Pluto taking a trip on the rails. And of course they have a lot of antics along the way. But this is really important because they used, it's actually short. I mean, it's a short already, but it's like 3 minutes.
A short.
It's a short. It's about 3 minutes long.
Okay.
And this was one of the only few, if only, where Walt Disney used like his they showed footage of him voicing Mickey Mouse.
Okay.
So there's a black and white footage of him and Geronimo voicing, for the short. So you could check that out.
Love it.
As well. So it makes it important. Actually, this cartoon was super well received and enjoyed at the time back in the 1940s.
So ahead of its time. A short video. Like, we're moving everything in short format and content these days. Is like super successful, well received. Short. 3 minutes.
Yeah. Everything except not everything. Today we're going to be talking a lot about big blockbuster films.
There we go. Let's do it.
It's definitely the season when it starts getting cool in lots of places.
Holiday
it's good to
releases.
snuggle up and watch lots of films, right?
Yeah.
So moving on to November 2nd, back in 2012, Wreck-It Ralph is generally released in the US and Canada.
Exceptional.
So
such an important film.
We love this film, right?
For many reasons. Like, my father's name is Ralph, so that's really a big thing. Like, we kind of like made it like a little bit of his thing, but I mean, just so well executed. The idea of the plugs and the central station to the different arcade machines, like everything, even like the villain support group, like all the appearances of our greatest like 8-bit 16-bit friends, like even like Hubert, like they just nailed it. The myths of like whether or not Mario was supposed to be in it and whether or not Nintendo refused, and there's so much to draw from on this film. And the sequel to come from it was great with our like animated princesses. This Wreck-It Ralph is just an institution, of course. Okay, so they actually had the idea for this back in the 80s, even though it took a little while for them to pull it through the 80s, and then several times they thought about it in the 90s as well. When some of the name, well, first it was going to be called High Score, and then Joe Jump, and then Reboot Ralph. So they got that Ralph name. I think they were getting closer to the concept. But this was with Lasseter, and they wanted to do this 8-bit type,
film or animated cartoon with the character, but really the director Rich Moore pulled it all together. And I love the concept that they didn't use, so they got away from using any characters in video games that had been done before and created new characters, which I think is what made this film, because they still brought in everything. Like, you've got Pac-Man in there, you've got, like, obviously Super Mario, you know, Mario and Luigi, you've got Sonic the Hedgehog, you even have, like, villains like Dr. Eggman and so forth. So they brought in so much, but the main characters were newly created.
But
so
you never doubt that all those new characters have a place there. They did such a good job.
But you couldn't, with the main characters, you didn't, they were worried that you'd have like this nostalgia and people would be like, oh, they didn't do, you know, Mario right, which you get with Mario, you know, the new film is coming out and they already have like
plans and
ideas.
Works several times.
No, like people have like, you know, ideas of how it should be, and you know, expectations aren't always met. So they created new characters, which we got Wreck-It Ralph and Vanellope and
Sugar Rush. I mean, some of the greatest music and racing game we're all still like waiting for in full.
Yeah, you got some cool techno music in this as well that they brought in to the film, which, you know, at the time we really enjoyed. I think it was Skrillex, right? Yeah.
What? Yes, Skrillex was. I forgot that he was on the soundtrack.
Right. So that was really fun too.
That was fun.
I know our family thought that was cool, but at the time our kids were at that age where it all hit for us. It was really fun. So, and we love to see Ralph and Vanellope over in Epcot. When they're there. It's so fun. And your dad, speaking of him, got his picture with him, remember?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, we've made use
so
of it.
Cute.
For sure.
Definitely
Thank you, Ralph.
cute, but
and Vanellope.
Yeah. Can't believe that it's been out for so long already.
Unbelievable.
Yes. And then moving on, November 3rd, back in 1961, the Twilight Zone episode It's a Good Life first airs on television. So this is so important because this is the actual episode that was used for Disney's Twilight Zone Tower of Terror ride at Hollywood Studios.
Sample Rod Sterling himself.
Rod Sterling, yes. They used the footage of him from the, you know, he's standing in front of a map actually, and you know, when you see it on the screen at the right, he's standing in front of the elevator doors, but they used the map. So that was, it was the longest intro or opening narration that he did, so they were able to work with it, I think, because of the, you know, long amount of timing. Of course, he had passed away years before. I think it was 1994 or, you know, before that. And they couldn't use his voice, so they used Mark Silverman. Actually, his widow was the one who chose, Rod Sterling's widow chose Mark Silverman to be the voice actor for that.
And it's great.
It's great. You wouldn't
it's
really
a
know.
Perfect match.
I mean, we didn't grow up then.
But I watched a lot
but,
of it.
Yeah, we've watched a lot, and it just, you wouldn't even realize that it wasn't his voice.
Right.
So I think that's really amazing.
Yeah.
So this episode is very interesting. Actually, what had high rankings and won awards as well. So you should definitely go check it out. It's really kind of scary.
It's a good life.
It has one of those, and some of the Twilight Zone like endings kind of like have resolution. I don't know if I would say this one.
Don't hope for one.
And they actually did a sequel to it in I believe in the early 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah, so really, they actually brought back main cast members. So it's an iconic Twilight Zone. If you haven't watched the show, go watch It's a Good Life, this one. It's because it definitely, I think, encompasses everything.
Love it.
So go check it out. A little bit still of Halloween in this week. Just a little bit, right? And then moving on to 2017, so into the future, same day, the superhero film Thor Ragnarok is
oh my goodness.
released.
I mean, in our home, like, the best Marvel movie. Like, there's never a time she won't watch Ragnarok.
I would definitely say it is the best Thor movie, hands down, and I've seen it many times. I love it. It's such a good film. So with this one, they actually went with a different director. Of course, they went with Taika Waititi, and you know, we were just so impressed with this and what he did with it.
We wanted him to do everything.
And apparently, according to Chris Hemsworth, they wanted to go into a more fun direction and a different direction than they had done. They, you know, the first 2 Thor films were very serious, and this one just takes on a whole, like, there's so many characters in it as well, because you have Doctor Strange in it, you have obviously the Hulk in it, and that whole interaction with Thor is fantastic, and you have Loki. And
it definitely is James Gunn's influence with Guardians of the Galaxy, though. He totally changed the course of the energy and you know, story and narrative of, you know, just influenced by music. It's awesome. Right.
But then also the Jeff Goldblum character in this.
Not that James Gunn was involved with it. I'm saying his involvement in the Marvel Cinematic Universe really changed the direction of how we present it. So.
Right, but I mean, I want to give total props to Kai for this,
though,
yes, because there's elements to this that I just don't think even. I mean, you're right, and they I've heard that.
I'm sorry,
but I'm just so impressed. The humor and just the. Well, I haven't gotten to everything, but I was just bringing up Jeff Goldblum in this because he's amazing as like this pseudo villain. He's a villain, but really likable. Yeah. Like he kills them, but gently or something. I don't know. He's just so. He's funny in this one. I think he's hilarious, and you know, you have like this big moment where, you know, Thor's hair gets cut as well. So there's just a lot of dynamics. And then, boom, you have Valkyrie as well. I mean, there's so much to this film. So many moving parts and characters. Like, that's why I think you can watch it multiple times, because there's a lot to it. But then, you know, using the Led Zeppelin song is so huge.
Because Led Zeppelin had been notorious for not licensing. I think they had done one TV commercial, and that had been like a big deal for them to license a song. The fact that they like did it was just, but what more fitting than our Norse god Thor? You can see why they relented.
Immigrant Song, right?
Yeah.
It's so good. It's like, because they use it in the beginning and they use it in the end, and like for some reason you think that there's like tons of music. That song is just so good as well. It's another thing that you can do repetitively, and it doesn't get old, because they used it as well in marketing. So some things do, like, you can't, like, a lot of filmmakers wouldn't just use one song like that, but they did it. They did great at the end of the movie when it comes in. I won't give away spoilers, but it's awesome. It's really epic. So, love that film. Go watch that one today if you haven't seen it, for sure. And then moving on to November 5th, another movie. Disney's Pixar's The Incredibles is released in 2004.
Wow.
Awesome film. This is award-winning. This one, like...
Pre-Marvel acquisition.
Everyone loved it.
Disney building their own superheroes.
They did so much with this. The animation was incredible. Of course, The Incredibles. The story was incredible. So this was...
Each character. Awesome.
This was Brad Bird. Right. And the whole story... Like, I think part of why it's so good is because it was so personal to him. So apparently, like, in 1993, when Brad Bird had sketched out the family he did that during an uncertain point in his career. And so this was personal to him and what he was feeling, and like putting all his work into his career and the success that he wanted at that time in his life, but then also concerned about his family and wanting to be there for his family. And you know, that really makes it into the film. It makes it what it is. He stated consciously this was just a funny movie about superheroes, but I think that was going on, what was going on in my life definitely filtered into the movie. And you feel that. It's just real, even though it's an animated film.
I think at least from like, you know, an outsider view, which we all are like outsiders, like it really felt like the time of like Brad Bird's like Pixar proving too. Like it seemed like they had handed him the reins of like a full film and everything. Even though he had done Iron Giant was and many things, it was totally proven to the fans. It felt like they were handing like reins of Pixar to him, and it worked out so well.
Yeah, definitely. So they did the 2D cell animation for this, but also, of course, they did the CGI as well. So they were using. There's a lot. I
didn't even realize there was a 2D elements other than in the intros and stuff.
Yeah, like there's that, but then there's the 3D and the 2D and the CGI as well. It's great. They do the storytelling's great. The visuals are great. The costuming for the animated characters, you know, seeing families together with those costumes is awesome too. Like being an incredible family. You know, and they got the concepts for the superhero powers with the children really well. I love Brad Bird's description of that also. He said the dad would be strong, so he made him strong. Moms would be pulled all different directions, so I think a lot of moms would love to have like her ability to stretch everywhere. And then of course teenagers are, you know, insecure and defensive, and so she could disappear but have, you know, her defenses. And then of course the 10-year-old boy, hyperactive, super fast, energy, and then the baby, unrealized potential.
I love it.
It's perfect.
Indeed.
Yeah, love this film. Cool to watch it many times.
And of course birthed so many awesome characters. Edna, Frozone amongst, but just boom, boom, boom. Awesome. Incredible.
I honestly can't believe it came out in 2004.
It's unbelievable.
It's so well done. Really, like it feels like it's more of a 2010s.
Ages very well.
Yes.
Perfectly.
Incredible movie. Definitely. And then we'll move on to November 6th, 2009. Okay. And I feel like the flow of this kind of is hit, like we've got boom, 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 these awesome movies to go watch and one more movie. And I wouldn't say that everyone thinks this is awesome. Back in 2009, Disney's A Christmas Carol. It opens in theaters. And you know, you just gotta... Yeah,
it's a
dark
beloved
movie.
Right. It's Robert Zemeckis.
Right.
Yeah. The Answer to Polar Express. It's also Jim Carrey, like really bringing it, and them really letting him go. I think they hooked his face up. Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah. Hooked his face up for lots of expression on Scrooge. You know, they were really tackling the humor, the human element, like the human expression. But translating to CGI was always such a difficult thing. They were able to do things like fur with Sully and so many awesome things, but human flesh was like struggling, and they really worked on it with this one. But
they really tried, but I think in the end you just still wanted to see, with the emotions of A Christmas Story, A Christmas Story, you just want A Christmas Carol, you wanted to see the actual people, and the CGI is just not there emotionally enough for... The connecting didn't happen. Like, I know a lot of people just have talked about, like, they just don't enjoy the film. From that standpoint, it's hard because the storytelling is really good. They really get it with following.
That Dickens can tell a story.
Well, yeah, but, you know, they have to write a script for the film and everything, and they did great with that. You know, it's good. I just think the technology wasn't quite there with it.
But you don't have to worry about it because Christmas is too soon right now.
But
we just want to let you know,
here.
They let it out of the gates November 6th.
Well, they used some new technology as well with this, with the lighting. So you were getting like this two-dimensional, well, no, it was actually like four-dimensional light. It's hard to explain, but the lighting on it was a new technology that they were using for 2009 also. So I think it gives
This was also the 3D era hype. The IMAX 3D, like everything was in 3D, and so dual release. Yeah. So we had mentioned this earlier, I think last month, about the Disney partnering with Amtrak for the promotion of this film. Yes. And you could go to different Amtrak stations and see, you know, it all decorated for Christmas and everything. 40 different locations or cities. Yeah. So it was a cool promotion too. But it didn't do well in the box offices or anything like that. Yeah. So that's too bad. I don't know if they'll like in the future like redo something like that. Because Christmas Carol definitely be remade.
I feel like it's like if you could actually take the film and tighten up, you know, like they do with some of Star Wars.
Yeah, there's tons of like 4K releases of stuff being upscaled right now and released for the first time. Like scenes from Metropolis were colorized and upscaled and released in 4K this week, and like animes are having the same thing. Yeah. So many things that we've enjoyed in the West, we've only had like low resolution, like on so much stuff that we've been able to see. They're getting upscaled and like 4K high def, and it's literally like you're able to appreciate everything new again. So who knows? Who knows? You know what will happen on re-releases of the future?
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, so that in the future it could be a cult classic. You know, whatever they do with it.
They could retexture it and re-render it. That's possible.
Right. Exactly.
Interesting.
So we'll see what happens. And then lastly, on November 6th, 2014, The Legend of Captain Jack Sparrow. An
what is this, you say?
Walkthrough special effects attraction at Disney World.
Like Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
They had it like, I mean, now you go into Toy Story Land. Like there.
You know, let me finish that. It actually closed on this day in 2014. Okay. Yeah, so this was this building and everything, it's gone. It's just like, because that's where you walk into Toy Story Land now. Yeah. So the building where they did this is demolished.
But you used to go stand in there?
But it was so fun. It's just like this walkthrough thing. It was really cool.
It was just a ship with Jack Sparrow up there talking to you.
But no, it was more than that. It was very interactive.
Yeah, like the person who was talking did make it personal.
No, it was like partially like a film. Like they filmed over parts of it. Wow. And go watch it on YouTube. It's really cool. You'll remember.
I was there like 3 times.
Yeah, I know. Like, I mean, but they're interactive sequences.
I just don't remember well. How cool.
So because you had like the ship and you had other pieces of the set that they were projecting onto, so they could project different things, and you had like the big you know, octopus thing like attacking us. Goodness. Technically, I mean, and then at the beginning you have all the skeletons.
Love it.
It's interactive. I love it. Like the child, or they pick someone to have like a key at the beginning. Do you remember that? And anyway, it was fun. It was just like a walk through. Get out of this Florida sun. Yeah. Do something that, you know, it would relate to film. So prior to this, they had the Narnia films in this building. Mm-hmm. And then it was hard for her to find out what was prior to that. Mm-hmm. So since like the early 2000s, they were doing the Narnia films in there. Okay. Same kind of concept that they did with Pirates of the Caribbean.
There you go.
But it's gone
But the building's gone now. So
it's just gone. But yeah.
It was fun though.
It was fun. I remember enjoying it, and I was like, wait, where did that go? Yeah. And I realized spatially, it's just gone.
Yeah.
You got a walkway there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, fun in the past.
That's it for this week so far. We'd love to hear in the comments how you guys are doing, how you're enjoying Halloween and moving into the next Halloween. Or do you need a break? Do you want to wait
until
it's time for Christmas?
Right. We don't have to push it on you, even though it's pushed on us overnight.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
But over here at Disney World, they'll be decorating. They've already started.
Yes.
They already
By the
started
time you're watching this, it's probably done.
Animal Kingdom and at Hollywood Studios. Yeah. You know, on Friday
we're in for Fantasmic. It will be. holiday festive.
Yes, we're very excited for that. It'll all be fun. But that's it for this week. Thank you guys for following along, and